Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources and really try to find the most interesting stuff. And if you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to hit subscribe, share the episode, give us a like. It really does help us out.
Yes.
So today we are tackling some brutal truths about life, the kind that honestly make you rethink things.
Yeah.
But ultimately lead to a better path.
I like that.
We're diving deep into 3 YouTube videos from TopThink, Brainy Dose, and Bedros Keuilian.
Okay.
And to help us unpack all of this, I've got the amazing Maddie here.
Hey everyone, excited to be here.
So these videos don't hold back at all. They all seem to agree on this one idea.
Okay.
We're not as special as we tend to believe.
Right.
That might sound harsh at first.
It does.
But stick with us. Because there's actually a lot of freedom in that realization. What's your take on this, Maddie?
You know, I used to resist that idea. I felt like I was diminishing myself somehow. But then I realized it's not about saying that you are insignificant. It's about understanding that everyone's journey has highs and lows, fears and dreams. TopThink made this point that really resonated with me. Every thought or feeling that you've had, someone else has probably experienced it too.
That's so true. Even when you feel totally alone in something, you're actually part of this massive human experience. Doesn't that kind of shift your perspective on things?
Absolutely. It makes you realize that connection and empathy are way more powerful than trying to stand out as this totally unique individual. We're all in this together dealing with the same basic human stuff.
I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
But Bedros Keuilian, he takes it in a slightly different direction. He argues that clinging to this idea of being special can actually lead to a sense of entitlement, especially for men.
Interesting.
He even says women biologically detest weakness in men.
Wow.
I'm curious, how do you interpret that?
I think what he's getting at is that true strength comes from owning your life, your choices, your flaws. It's not about being perfect or pretending to be something you're not. It's about self-awareness and taking responsibility for your own growth.
So it's less about trying to fit some external mold and more about cultivating inner strength and resilience.
Exactly. And when you're truly secure in yourself, the need for external validation just fades away. You're no longer looking for others to tell you you're worthy.
Which brings us to another major theme across these videos: letting go of external validation.
Yeah.
Brainy Dose has this powerful line: how others treat you is based on what you allow.
That's good.
That really hit home for me.
It's a total game changer when you realize you have the power to set boundaries and command respect. When you stop seeking approval from everyone else, you free yourself to live authentically. You're no longer trying to please everyone or live up to some impossible standard.
That feels so liberating, right? Like you're finally in the driver's seat of your own life.
Yes. And that's where real happiness and fulfillment come from. It's not about chasing external markers of success. It's about aligning your actions with your values and living in a way that feels true to you.
I love that. You know, I'm starting to see how these brutal truths, while tough to swallow at first, can actually be incredibly empowering. It's like they're clearing away the illusions and showing us a more direct path to a meaningful life. What stands out to you the most so far, Maddie?
For me, it's the shift in perspective from I need to be special to I have the power to create something special. It's not about denying our flaws or pretending to be perfect. It's about embracing our imperfections and using them as fuel for growth. It's about recognizing that true strength lies in our ability to learn, adapt, and evolve.
That's such a powerful way to frame it. And I think it sets us up perfectly to dive into the next layer of these brutal truths: the importance of action, self-mastery, and really owning our choices. But before we go there, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to unpack even more of these life-changing insights.
You know, as we were talking about letting go of that specialness label, I realized something. It's not about becoming apathetic or giving up on your dreams. It's actually the opposite.
You're right. It's about getting real with yourself and focusing on what you can control. And that leads us right into the next big theme these videos hit on: the power of action and self-mastery.
Exactly. They're all saying stop waiting for the perfect time or blaming your past. You have the power to create the life you want, but you have to actually take action.
Brainy Dose puts it bluntly: there is no perfect time to do anything. It's like a call to stop overthinking and just start doing right.
Absolutely. Bedros Keuilian calls it the curse of waiting. He says all those missed opportunities and what ifs add up to a mountain of regret. It's like you can spend your life dreaming or you can start living those dreams.
He doesn't mince words, does he? But he's got a point. Time is our most valuable resource, and we can't afford to waste it on someday. What resonates with you about this whole idea of action and self-mastery?
It makes me think about self-awareness. You have to understand your own patterns and behaviors, the things
Yeah.
that hold you back, before you can really take control of your life.
It's like you can't change what you don't acknowledge, right? So self-awareness is the first step to breaking free from those self-sabotaging habits.
Exactly. And once you start taking action, even small steps, it builds momentum. You start believing in your own ability to create change. You start to see the connection between your efforts and the results you're getting.
That's so key. It's not about some magical overnight transformation. It's about showing up consistently and doing the work even when it's hard.
And you know, this whole conversation about action and self-mastery takes on a whole new dimension when you consider another brutal truth. These videos address the impermanence of life.
That's where Bill Latin's near-death experience on The Other Side NDE really hit me hard. Hearing about his brush with death made everything else seem so small.
It's a powerful reminder that life is precious and fleeting. We don't know how much time we have, so it's crucial to make the most of each moment.
TopThink talks about this too. They say that at the end of your life, it's not the stuff you accumulated or the titles you held that matter. It's the relationships you nurtured and the experiences you had.
They also made an interesting point about the impermanence of ideas. They said thoughts and ideas only have power when we act on them.
It's like that saying, a goal without a plan is just a wish. You can have the most brilliant idea in the world, but if you don't take action, it's meaningless.
And with the knowledge that life is finite, it makes this whole idea of action even more urgent. We can't afford to waste time on what ifs, or someday we have to make each moment count.
That's a lot to process.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, but also kind of daunting. If we only have a limited amount of time, how do we even begin to prioritize what truly matters? Where do we find the motivation to keep going when things get tough?
Those are big questions. And I think the answer lies in something we touched on earlier, gratitude. But before we dive into that, let's take a quick moment to gather our thoughts. We'll be right back to explore how gratitude can transform your perspective and fuel your journey towards a more fulfilling life.
All right, we're back and ready to tackle this final piece.
Right.
Of this brutal truth puzzle, we've talked about letting go of the idea of being special, owning our choices, taking action, and facing the reality that life is temporary.
All right.
It's a lot to take in. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned, Maddie, about the power of gratitude.
Yeah, it might seem counterintuitive, right? To focus on gratitude when you're confronting these harsh realities, but it's actually key to finding joy and contentment, even amidst the challenges.
Okay, so walk me through this. How does gratitude fit into all of this?
Think about it this way. When you're focused on what you're grateful for, you're shifting your attention away from what you lack or what's wrong. You're training your mind to see the good, even in the midst of difficult circumstances.
So even when we're dealing with the fact that life is short, we're not as special as we thought, and no one's coming to save us, gratitude can help us find peace.
Exactly. It's not about denying the tough stuff. It's about choosing to focus on what you have rather than what you don't. It's about appreciating the simple things, the small victories, the people in your life.
It's like a perspective shift, right?
Yeah.
Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, you start to see the beauty and abundance that's already present in your life.
And that's where true happiness comes from. It's not some distant destination you reach when everything is perfect. It's a state of mind you can cultivate through practices like gratitude.
That's really empowering. It means we have more control over our happiness than we think.
We do. And it's not always easy. There will be days when it's hard to find things to be grateful for. There will be setbacks and challenges that test your resilience. But that's where patience and compassion come in.
Right. We're all works in progress.
Yeah.
We're going to mess up. We're going to stumble.
Yeah.
But it's about getting back up and continuing on the journey.
Exactly. It's about being kind to ourselves, recognizing that growth is a process, and celebrating the small wins along the way. Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep moving forward one step at a time.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation, Maddie. Thank you for breaking down these brutal truths in a way that feels both insightful and hopeful.
It's been my pleasure. These are the kind of conversations that really get you thinking.
And to all of you listening, we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought. What resonated with you the most? What brutal truths are you ready to embrace? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share the episode with a friend. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.